Hello friends, welcome back to IELTS Learning, an all-in-one destination for English. My name is Simran and today I came with a new video that is about IELTS reading tips. I think that this video will be very informative for you because I'm going to tell you the top 10 tips for passing your IELTS reading exam. Let's start. The first tip is true false not given and yes no not given use the same techniques. If you have watched my previous video about true false not given and yes no not given questions tips, then you must know that what I am trying to say. So true false not given and yes no not given are a bit different. That is that true false not given takes paragraphs opinions and yes no not given takes the writer's opinions. That is the main difference between it, but still they both take the same techniques. Second tip, keep your eye on the next question. This tip would qualify the third tip that the answers come in order. See, this is your passage, IELTS reading passage, and say this is information. For example, you found the question number 1 here, the answer for question number 1, and for question number 3 here. So as I said, the answers come in order, so keep your eye on the next question. What does it mean? It means that, for example, you got the answer for first question, you got the answer for third question, and you're not able to find the answer for the second question. So that would lie between first and this third one. Also, when you're doing the true false not given and yes no not given questions, just think that you have yes, no or not given. That means, for example, if for the first yes no not given question it was yes, or maybe for the third was no, that means you have got the answer, but you're not able to find out that what's the answer for the second question. So see, this is how you could find that this question is not given. If you have found the first question, you have found the third question, and you're not able to find out the answer or the information about the statement in this information or in these lines, that means that is not given. So that this would be very helpful. So keep your eye on the next question, for example question number 3, so you could find out or you could ease yourself that okay, this information is not given, because you are not able to find the information for it in these lines of the paragraph. Okay, let's go for the fourth tip. If the question is true false not given, you can't write yes no not given. Yes, that's true, because okay, let's paraphrase the information written over here, or the tip written over here. That means that read the instructions carefully. If it is true false not given, you can't write okay yes for true, you can't write n for false. So please read the instructions carefully. The fifth tip, you can write a letter instead of words in true false not given and yes no not given questions. Like as in the previous tip, I said that read the instructions carefully. So when the question is about true false not given, that is like true false not given, or maybe yes no and not given. Instead of writing words, you can write a letter, just a letter, like true or false or not given. But some of the students ask me that can I use pencil or can I use pen for writing my reading exams answers? So please mention this thing that for your reading and listening exams, you have to use the pencil. But for the writing exam, you can either use pencil or pen. But I think that writing with a pencil is more convenient, as you can erase what you have written. But if you're writing with pen, so you can't erase it, so you have to cut, and that doesn't look good. So that is quite eligible for the examiner. Okay. The sixth step. For the false, true, not given, or the yes, no, not given, false or no means opposite to the information provided. True means exact or same information. And not given means no information provided. It looks quite easy, but when students do these questions related to false, true and not given, they find it quite tricky and confusing. So that's why always keep in mind that false is something opposite to the information. Okay, the next step, do not go with keywords. Analyze information and go with meaning of the information. I know that keywords have a lot of importance in giving answers for your reading exam. But the thing is that keywords give you location in the reading passage, that okay, where is information located. So yeah, they are important, but do not only go with the keywords, because that would make you fall into the trap of not able to find the correct answer. So go with the meaning of the information. Underline the keywords, find out the location in the passage, and then go with the meaning of the information found in the passage and the information provided in the text as a question. Okay, now let's look at another trip. Paraphrases. What does paraphrases mean? You know that the whole IELTS exam is just about paraphrasing the words. That is, not changing the meaning but changing the words or changing the vocabulary. So that's it. Vocabulary or the synonyms or antonyms and the other words. Just keep track of these paraphrases that always changes. For example, in the question they may have used the synonym of increase, that is like rise or raise. So always keep track of the words like synonyms and antonyms and the vocabulary in your reading. Okay? Ninth, look out for common traps. See, paraphrases was also one of the common traps. Comparisons, words like all, some, at least, a few, often, majority. For example, in the question it is given that for example, a club raises money for schooling and for, say, hospital funds, or say for hospital, more than schooling or something. Means the statement is something like this, that something is more than something. So that's a kind of comparison that is given, that is something more than something else. But in the statement, when you underline the keywords and you found the location in the passage, that okay, this information is maybe related to this information, so you may find that okay, and that must be on the same level, or maybe the level is not given. For example, the club raises money for schooling and hospital. So that means for the both. It is not given that which is more or which is less, or it is not given at all that what level or what proportion or what percentage the club is raising money, raising funds. So that changed the whole information. If you just look at the keywords, you may find that okay, it's all about hospital or raising funds for hospital and for schooling. So maybe it's true, or maybe yeah, the information is here, but it's not, because it made a comparison. More comparisons, as I said, more than, less than, like this. And the words like all, some, at least, a few, often, majority does make a great difference. For example, take a layman example. Ram visits Sonia often. This is the question. But when you underline the keywords and found the location in the passage, you found it written that Ram visits Sonia a few times, or maybe on the alternate days, or maybe less. So often means, it could be regularly, yes, and it could be either maybe 3 times a week or maybe 4 times a week. So it means that he is in regular position of visiting Sonia. But a few means a very less number, or if it's written rarely, that Ram visits Sonia rarely, that means a very few proportion, a 0 or a 1 probability. So that changed the whole meaning. So just keep track of the common traps in your reading exam. Now let's take the last tip of our video, that is NB and no more than words or number. What is NB? You must see that sometimes in your reading exam you find a note like NB, that's a note that usually says you may use any letter more than once. So what does it mean? For example, if it is A, B, C question, a matching information, there are some matching information in your reading exam. So just mention this thing that really means, that really make a sense, that for example, if you have to choose A, B, C, for example, there's information written over here and the options are A, B, C, then you have to match this information here. That is it from A paragraph, is it from B paragraph, is it from C paragraph? If there is a NB written in your passage that you may use any letter more than once, then it is sure that you will have two answers same, that there will be 2A or maybe 2B or maybe 2C, and there could be probability that maybe 2 to 3 answers would be same, but 2 is a definite sure. So whenever you find this kind of information in your reading exam, just follow the hint given here. Okay, no more than so and so words or a number. Always keep this in mind, that you have to go with the word limit provided in the instructions. That is no more than 1 to 3 words. If it's written no more than one word, that means only one word could be written there. If the answer is, for example, a dining table or something like that, so these are a dining table. There are 3 words, but the limit is 1 word, so that the answer would be table. So do not exceed the limits. If it is 2 words, what does the meaning of 2 words? That means it could be 1 word or it could be 2 words, but not more than that. And what the 3 words? It means it could be 1 word, it could be 2 words, it could be 3 words, but not more than that. There is also information given like no more than 2 words or a number. That means there would be 1 word or a 2 word, or there could be only a number. So there will be one probability from both. That it could be like more than 2, not more than 2 words, means only maybe a 1 number or maybe 2 numbers, or only a number, or a number, that means 1 number. And in number, dates like for example, say 26 November 2016, this whole is 1 word. Okay, so read the instructions carefully and keep the tips in your mind whenever you do your reading exam practice or whenever you go for your IELTS reading exam. Thank you so much. I think that this video will be very informative for you. This was Simran. Thank you so much, and do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel.